What's going on, YouTubers? For ladies and gentlemen, it's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to All Elite Wrestling Review, where it tends to giving you AEW Dynamite results. AEW Dynamite presents Fyter Fest, where it tends to Night 1, the show from July 14th, 2021, where they're in Texas for this one. Cedar Park, Texas. That was in the venue of Herb. I mean, Hebe. Excuse me, Hebe Center. And your commenters were Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, and Glow JR Jim Ross. Also, the attendance for these crowds doesn't say. But under the promotion of All Elite Wrestling. And we're gonna go through everything that happened on Fyter Fest Night 1, and then we'll get to Fyter Fest Night 2. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna combine all 2 nights into one for a one full review of it. So let's get right into it. Give one moment, folks. Alright, here we go. The opening match was Jon Moxley being accompanied by Eddie Kingston, the IWGP United States Champion, and Jon Moxley comes out to the crowds, a hot crowd, by the way, a capacity crowd in Cedar Park, Texas, and the song "Wild Thing," a sing along with the crowds there, gives me Sandman vibes, which is to Enter the Sandman by Metallica. So we get Jon Moxley going up against the Machine Gun Carl Anderson, being accompanied by Doc Gallows, but also we got a jump start with Eddie Kingston attacking Doc Gallows, until they fall over to the back, which it was just going to be just between Jon Moxley and Carl Anderson in this IWGP United States Championship title match under New Japan rules, where they had a 20 countout for this event. I remember them do that before, where it tends to Moxley and Nagata. Let alone they know in fact, was there any other times that happened besides the one I'm going to talk about too, where it tends to Night 2 of Fyter Fest, but we'll get to that too though. But basically, yeah, I remember them using a twin countout unless Moxley and Nagata went outside of the ring to for it to be a New Japan rule for that one. So I digress. But Moxley and Anderson were doing pretty well in this match. Match lasted, if I could bring it up right now, 11 minutes and 12 seconds, and yeah, it was a decent match. In the end, it was Jon Moxley getting the win with a horrendous, horrible, death-lifting paradigm shift, and Moxley wins because of that. So yeah, Carl Anderson looked weak for taking that spot and losing to that spot where it could have been better. It should have been executed better. And Carl Anderson should have at least try to look like it was a devastating finishing move where he was going to lose. But based on how that looked, he could have easily kicked out of it. The fact he didn't, yeah, he's not the same Carl Anderson that I'm used to be a fan of, with him being in Japan Pro Wrestling. It's whatever. But it wasn't a bad match though. Just to finish, really threw me off there. Before we move on to the next thing, we had Lance Archer talking about, and he's also being accompanied by Jack Roberts, and basically pertains to Jon Moxley's next challenger. So Lance Archer brings up that Moxley took the title away from him a year ago, back in New Japan Pro Wrestling, when they had their Texas Death Match from Night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom, and which probably was Wrestle Kingdom 14. And he wants a rematch this time, in the AEW ring, obviously, in Texas, because they're gonna be in Texas again for Night 2 of Fyter Fest, which we'll get to when we get to it, and it's gonna be Texas Death Match, like the one they have in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where instead of having their own Texas Death Match, they're gonna have Now they're gonna have a Texas death match. This time in Texas. There you go. Because everybody dies. There you go. And also we got to Alex Abrahante interviewing Andrade El Idolo along with his assistant. Now we don't know the name of his assistant. Let alone we don't even know who he is to begin with. But I'm glad he has an assistant. Andrade El Idolo. Basically, Andrade cuts off Alex and asks him a question about where is Death Triangle. Basically tells Alex to give them a message that El Idolo is looking for them. And we'll tell when we get to night 2 of Fyter Fest. Because next we get to Brian Cage of Team TAZ versus Ricky Starks of Team TAZ for the FTW World Championship title that Brian Cage is held by. Also, Ricky Starks was being accompanied by Hook and Powerhouse Hobbs, while Taz was a special commentator on this one, obviously because his boys were wrestling each other and his boys was going to basically hash it all out and all that, and then they're going to get back to normal, where it tends to Team Taz being back to on the same page. Match lasted 9 minutes and 52 seconds. In this match, Ricky Starks was over. He was getting the biggest pops more than Brian Cage. I'm not saying that Brian Cage didn't get any pops either, but Ricky Starks was the star of this match. He was a breakout performer in this match, and really show that he could be a big star on television and in front of a big world crowd of AEW, and I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of Ricky Starks of getting this reaction. I'm very proud of him, for getting this opportunity, and he's gonna shine in the AEW. He is one of those bright future stars in the AEW, along with Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin. You got Wheeler Yuta, who's gonna be up and coming too, by the way, which is why he's in the AEW as well. You got the Hangman Adam Page. Yes, he's in his 30s, but he's one of those guys that that's homegrown talent in the AEW, where he can get over, and still be commodity. Same thing with Powerhouse Hobbs. I believe he also will get that. He's got a bright future in AEW as well. Everyone does. Ty Conti, and Jay when she comes back. You got Thunder Rosa. She's she's in her 30s too, but she's been killing it, and now she's part of AEW, which we'll also more about that when I get to it when because that's what I want to say for the next time. Britt Baker, obviously, she not only she's the future, but she is the face of the women's division, and she got the belt to prove it too now. So, but we'll get to her when we get to night 2, by the way. But yeah, you got a lot of these talents coming into AEW, homegrown, and they're getting this reaction from the crowds that they're liking them and they're becoming stars because of that. And Ricky Starks is no different. So they're having this match and all that, right? Ricky Starks obviously was the better performer in this match, and Brian Cage was not the best performer in this match. I mean, he still does some good spots in the match too, but this match was all about Ricky Starks. And one point, Ricky Starks used one of obviously I was gonna say one of the something I don't know where I was going with that. I guess I botched that. But what I was gonna say was that Ricky Starks was gonna use the FTW belt to hit Brian Cage with it, but then Paul Hobbs takes it away from him, and then Brian Cage goes up to Ricky Starks, and he basically got his belt back, and then he puts it on the on the apron of the ring, and they're still having at it, and all of a sudden we get to a referee distraction by Hook, and then Paul Hobbs gets on the apron with the belt, that Brian Cage holds, and he nails Brian Cage with the belt. I'm like, huh? But Paul Hobbs took the belt away from Ricky Starks, from earlier, and then he misses the same belt to hit Brian Cage with it. Ricky Starks also goes for a spear, 1, 2, 3, and I'm happy that he won the match though. And and as far as that belt, it's whatever. The belt doesn't really mean anything that much, anyways. But because it's a belt that really it's not really known to be a title to be defended. But because AEW, and TAZ, negotiate some type of deal and all that, it's become official. Because I guarantee you, in WWE, that will never happen. That would have never happened. You know, especially if bringing back the ECW, the new breed of ECW, I should say, back in 2006, I meant to say. But yeah, Ricky Starks wins though, which I want him to win too, but this made no sense though. I thought the whole point of Brian Cage and Ricky Starks going at it is for them to hash out their differences, to beat out each other and all that, and then everything could get back to normal. Now I expected Brian Cage to unlead the group eventually, because they've been teaming this for months now, since after Revolution. But this is how they do it. This is how they kick out Brian Cage out. Basically, I thought Brian Cage was gonna was gonna just leave. Instead, it was the other way around. It was Team TAZ leaving Brian Cage. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, folks. I mean, good. As far as the match was, good match on Ricky Starks' part. And again, I'm not trying to say Brian Cage didn't have any good spots in the match either. But if you ask me who was the better performer in this match, it was Ricky Starks. So there you go. Because this revolution, this revolution has been televised, to say. See, I'm right botching again. But I digress. I don't know if I mentioned this. 2 minutes and 52 seconds. 9 minutes and 52 seconds. Excuse me. 9 minutes and 52 seconds. That's how long this match lasted. Before we get to the next match, I gotta see what else happened before we move on. So yeah, so after the match, Team TAZ, we're celebrating all that. What did the Brian Cage and blah blah blah. Also, we see Malachi Black. I'm sorry, not Malachi Black. We see Cody Rhodes coming out in a white suit. I think he had like a gold tie, I guess, but he has a white suit on. He comes out to commentary, cut a promo about Malachi Black or Tommy End, whoever you are. He understands that Malachi Black wants to take out the franchise player, to become a franchise player, knocking him out, and also knocking out Arn Anderson. And he said, you know what, he basically asks for a microphone. He goes in the ring. He calls out, Malachi Black. Also, Malachi Black shows up on the screen, and Malachi Black asks if he heard the crowd when he kicked. When he knocked him out, Arn Anderson, and also knocked out Cody Rhodes out. And maybe he loves the fans more than the fans love violence. And then basically tells a story about a horse then won numerous titles, but once the horse couldn't win and was in pain, it was the time to put the horse down. And then Cody Rhodes telling Malachi Black or Tommy End, basically Malachi Black, Tommy End, wherever you are, basically tells him, won't you come down here and try to knock again, all that, right? So all of a sudden, lights goes out. Lights comes back on, and there's Malachi Black wearing an all black, black suit, while Cody was wearing white suit. And this remind me, Spy vs. Spy from Mad TV. That's basically what it was to me. So they start fighting. All of a sudden we get officials, referees, securities rushing out to separate them from each other. And that was it. There was no else safe from there. Give a moment, folks. Alright, that's better. But yeah, the segment was good though. I like the segment. Then we get to Tully Blanchard, who's walking down the hallway to leave, being interviewed by Alex Marvez. All of a sudden, we see Santana and Ortiz confronting him. And basically, they teased to take him out and all that, right? With a crowbar. Except the crowbar was a prop. And basically, went boom. Basically, said, tell your boys, that we'll see them, when they had their match. And then Tully Blanchard was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my boys. I'm gonna get my boys on that. And that was it. So there you go. Not much to say about that, folks. Now, before we get to the next match, we still got more to talk about here, folks. And we got to talk about here is Tony Schiavone getting in the ring to interview the Hangman and the Page, who respected the interviewer by allowing the interviewer interview him with the microphone in his hand. So Adam Page, is talking, as Tony Schiavone is holding the microphone, which that's how it should be done. Instead of having the wrestler taking away the microphone away from the interviewer, otherwise the interviewer is not doing the job. So I'm glad that the Hangman and the Page is allowing the interviewer to do his job. So Adam Page says he has said he'll be AEW World Champion someday, but he failed. He tried to run and hide from it, but the Dark Order is right. He still needs the title. He goes to challenge the title, and then also Don Callis comes out and interrupts. Basically, and also you have not only with Don Callis out there, but also the Young Bucks with that was whatever outfits they're wearing at this point. Like, I don't care anymore. Again, I'm over the Young Bucks now. The Good Brothers comes out too with whatever they're wearing. Well, it was just Doc Gallows who came out because Carl Anderson didn't come out. I guess he's still feeling the effects of that terrible paradigm shift that he took on Jon Moxley. Brandon Cutler came out there. Kenny Omega came out there. And basically Don Callis says to Alan Page that Page knows he's not the guy that can take the title away from Kenny Omega. Also, Matt Jackson starts talking, saying that he's going to say something to Alan Page in his face, and hops in the ring and says, "Hey, buddy, remember us? You're your best friends, and all that you abandoned for these bunch of losers." And says to Page that is still hitting the bottle. I see, and basically he's saying that he's a drunk and all that, and I dare you to hit me, basically, and also he said to him that he's gonna be the next great wrestling tragedy, and I thought to myself, no, that's Jimmy Uso. Just saying. Before it was Jeff Hardy with his issues, but now Jimmy Uso is taking the cake there. Anyways. But Matt Jackson says you don't have the balls to hit me and all that, basically, because Adam Page was teasing to hit him, and then he basically boom clocks him, and then you get the Elite come in there, Adam Page turned him off a little bit, and then the Dark Order came out to even the odds, and all of a sudden the segment didn't end there. It's to continue on because Kenny Omega but first Adam Page says that he came out here to for a match, and he's not leaving until he gets one, and Omega gets the microphone and says that they can do it, but it's going to be a 5 versus 5 elimination style match. Dark Order versus the Elite. And Page says he doesn't want that match, but if that's what he has to do to get to the title, then that's exactly what he's going to do. He says when they win the match, not only he gets a shot at the title against Kenny Omega, and Page, but also the Dark Order will get a shot at the tag team titles against the Young Bucks, which I'm assuming that's going to be happening all out for them too. So then the Elite huddle up and all that, and Omega agrees to the plan and gets in the ring to tell Page that is making a lot of demands and the Elite isn't getting anything in exchange. So Kenny Omega says that if the Elite wins, none of them gets a title shot. No title shot for Adam Page at All Out, and no title shot for the Dark Order for the titles against the Young Bucks. So that's when the Hangman and Page said that neither the Dark Order doesn't back down from any fight and all that, so you're on. And that was it. And that's now been confirmed. So yeah, as far as the segment, it started off good at first, but then also when the Elite came out and made it worse. And then the fight happened, and then it started getting better, but also it started going. It just kept going on and on and on. It took too long. It just took too long. But just saying this, that just to get to a point, and we got to that point finally. But geez, that was so long. Also, we get to Chris Jericho. He's being interviewed by Alex Marvez. Pertains to MJF stipulations. Pertains to the what they call it again, the Jericho labrum. Also, Chris Jericho gets attacked by Shawn Spears by a steel chair, and MJF follows along with him. Basically says that Derek Jericho, that's your first opponent if you want to get to me. is Shawn Spears, the chairman, and it's going to be a match where Shawn Spears is allowed to miss a steel chair, but Chris Jericho can't, because if Chris Jericho misses a steel chair, he will lose the match and be disqualified. Shawn Spears will get the win, and that was it. And basically, they took out Chris Jericho's elbow, his bad elbow, with a steel chair, and that was it. Basically, the weaken him. That way, MJF won't have to face him at All Out, because apparently MJF is is such a chicken shit heel that he wants no part of Chris Jericho at All Out. So that's why they did what they did. Next match. Now we find the next match. Christian Cage versus Matt Hardy. 13 minutes and 7 minutes lasted. There were some good spots in the match, but other than that, this match was not the best match. This was not even a good match. This was one of the weakest match. And obviously they're older and all. I get that and all. They're beaten up, after everything they put themselves through for years, and I respect them dearly for all they've done for a wrestling fan like me, growing up watching these guys in the Attitude Era, turning it up on these ladder matches, tables matches, TLC matches, and any other type of matches that they put themselves through, to entertain us. I will always give these guys respect for that, always. However, this match was not good. It was just not, to me, it was just not good. And I say it was trash. It was just solid. This was one of the weakest matches that I watched on the show here. And Christian Cage wins. So, after the match, the Hart Family Office came out. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus came out for the save, and that was it. So there you go. Video package time of the TNT champion. Miro tells a story about a hero who was lost because he wasn't being himself. A voice from above came in, I'm talking about God, and allowed him to remember who he was. He says the hero wasn't a selfish man. He forgave everyone who wronged him and rewarded him the title. And he shows the AEW title, which I'll get back to that, and says that he's willing to defend his title not only for his life but for his life of his opponent. That's why he's the Redeemer. And then he shows his title, which is a white strap with a green on the main title plate of it, and this is how it looks. Ain't it beautiful? I love it. I actually love it. It's a great obviously the only upgrades, well, besides the AEW Women's title, which how long did that take? To make it bigger, but pertains to upgrading the one title in AEW, it's the TNT title, because that's been upgraded so many times to the incomplete TNT Championship belt, to it finally becoming completed, the AEW TNT Championship belt with the red strap, with the red, obviously first it was a red strap with the just silver, plates and all that. That was the incomplete TNT title belt because of the pandemic, obviously. And then it upgraded, when Brody Lee became the champion. It was gold and all, and you still have some silver in there too, but it was all gold and red strap and all. And then they changed the red strap to black strap for Darby Allin. Not just because for Darby Allin, but also because they retire the red strap TNT title belt because of the unfortunate loss of Brody Lee. And that belt is now in the hands of Brody Lee Jr. because he is now forever the TNT champion. And now I'm getting emotional thinking about that, because it sucks that Brody Lee is gone. It sucks. Wish he was still here. But now with Miro, he upgraded it. It's a white strap. It reminds me of the Intercontinental belt. The TNT title belt with the white strap now, it reminds me of the Intercontinental belt, and it reminds me of the IWGP Intercontinental belt. I love it. I love it. And it fits him. It's just that color too, by the way. I think it's great. And it was a great promo from Miro. So there you go. We get to Tony Schiavone interviewing the AEW Women's World Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and I don't remember if Rebel came out to with her. I mean, it doesn't even say here, but she's basically going to talk about Nyla Rose and since putting her to a table where people will worry about Britt Baker well-being, but don't worry, she dealt with worse things before. True, which is why she is the baddest bee on the block. I won't say it because I got too much respect for women. To women, excuse me. Britt Baker says that imagine winning the title and finding out her opponent is Nyla Rose. Yeah. And says yes, Nyla Rose has beaten her before, which it was a dumb part on but then again, it did lead to Britt Baker at one point becoming the right person to be the number one contender to be for the title against Hikaru Shida. But yeah, as I was saying, Nyla Rose beaten her before, but right now Britt Baker is in a league of her own and knows that Vicky Guerrero is in the back listening, and she has a last name that will keep her relevant forever in wrestling. True. Talking about Vicky Guerrero, by the way. But Nyla Rose doesn't. She needs the title, which is true. And Britt Baker says she's the hottest thing in wrestling. True. With the title. True. But even without the, even without it, she's Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And again, true. And Vicky Guerrero starts screaming backstage, to the camera, saying that they are going to beat her ass and all. And Nyla Rose says that her ass is getting a whooping, is going to be world class, and that was it. So obviously, Britt Baker's promo was great, and then we get a small short promo there from Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero, to let Britt Baker know that they're coming for her. So, and that was it. Not much to say about that. Jon Moxley, he responds to Lance Archer's by saying he never beaten Lance Archer. He survived Lance Archer. And Moxley knows that Archer is going to keep coming, and he will not be hunted. He'll be the hunter. I mean, he's the hunter, excuse me. And Moxley says that there is only one boogeyman in AEW, and Lance Archer's going to find out that Archer will be Texas dead. And that was it. Good promo there from Jon Moxley, as usual. Next match now. We get Sammy Guevara versus Wheeler Yuta, being accompanied by Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. Match lasted 4 minutes and 33 seconds, and obviously, Sammy Guevara wins. But Wheeler Yuta looked good though, and yeah, not much to say. But yeah, but we all knew Sammy Guevara was going to win either way. So, also we got to happen earlier on that time. Tony Schiavone interviewing QT Marshall, while you had Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado, and still no Anthony Ogogo for a reason. Basically, with the guys, around him, QT Marshall is got guys around him about his strap match that he lost to Cody Rhodes, and then also QT Marshall was being a jerk by to Tony Schiavone by pouring coffee on his head. So what? It's gonna be a program with Tony Schiavone and QT Marshall. Tony Schiavone's not a wrestler. Why do we care about this? What's the point of this? Don't know what to say, folks. But next match, Penelope Ford versus Yuka Sakazaki. 6 minutes and 45 seconds it lasted. It was decent. In the end though, it was Yuka Sakazaki winning the match, which I was shocked that she won the match. I thought she was going to lose here, but instead she won, and Penelope Ford loses. Okay. Now, with respect for Fyter Fest Night 2, folks, it'll be Britt Baker defending her AEW Women's World Championship title against Nyla Rose. I'll get to it when I get to it. Jon Moxley defending his IWGP United States Championship title against Lance Archer in the Texas Death Match, a rematch from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Wrestle Kingdom 14 from from night 1, which we'll get to that one too. Chris Jericho versus Shawn Spears, where Shawn Spears is only can use a steel chair in the match, but Chris Jericho can't, and we'll get to that as well. Orange Cassidy versus The Blade, which we'll get to that as well. And I'm pretty sure there's something else that I'm missing too. Oh yeah, there are some things that that was on here too, but I'll say that when we get to that. Okay. Okay. Because let me get to the main event, the match we've all been waiting for, the Coffin match between Darby Allin and Ethan Page. It lasted 15 minutes and 22 seconds. Now, first, Ethan Page came out there on his own, and Darby Allin came out there on his own, and already Darby Allin charged right after Ethan Page, and they start going at it and all. All of a sudden, Scorpio Sky comes out and goes after Darby Allin because there's no DQ in this type of match. And then Sting comes out. And when Sting came out, he got a massive pop from the crowds. And then Sting and Scorpio Sky start fighting, and they start fighting into the crowd. And Sting goes for a Stinger splash, but the cameraman missed that part because they want to show Ethan Page exposing, the turnbuckle thing, to loosen up the ropes and all that. And I said to myself, was that really important? But then again, I'm glad they didn't show that because Sting misses the Stinger splash anyways on the outside to Scorpio Sky. So it's whatever. But anyways, but Darby Allin and Ethan Page still win at fighting, and Sting and Scorpio Sky start fighting until they finally got on left and all. So Ethan Page and Darby Allin is doing everything they can. Steel steps was used by Ethan Page to Darby Allin. Basically the Eagle's Edge onto the steel steps was brutal. What else? I can't remember what weapons were using here. Oh, by the way, the reason why Scorpio Sky wasn't out there at first because Darby Allin was going to put Ethan Page in the coffin to open, basically open up the coffin, and Scorpio Sky was in the coffin the entire time. So that's what I remember what just happened now. So, yeah, that's why Scorpio Sky wasn't out there yet, and that's why Sting didn't go out there either. Because they were expecting, maybe it would just be a one-on-one match. Oh yeah, at one point, Ethan Page did use the turnbuckle thing that holds the ropes and all that, and Darby Allin did it too, by the way, too. Basically puts it into the mouth of Ethan Page. Darby Allin. But before that happened too, by the way, the hook thing, pertains to the turnbuckle thing. But Ethan Page uses that to for Darby Allin's neck, his necklace, to yank him and all. And then that's when Ethan Page started to get that hook into his mouth by Darby Allin in the match. Yeah, basically hook, line, and sinker. It's a real catch. That was Corey. I already mentioned the whole steel steps by Ethan Page to Darby Allin with the Eagle's Edge. Eagle's Edge, excuse me. And at one point, Ethan Page gets busted open. Darby Allin all of a sudden almost gets near in the coffin, but he starts gouging the eyes of Ethan Page. And then he meets with a skateboard onto the back of Ethan Page, off the top rope, onto his back, like a double footstep in the way. And then Ethan Page falls in the coffin, and then Darby Allin shuts the coffin and gets the win. After which was expected, obviously he was going to win. After the match, Darby Allin sword brace as he goes up to the turnbuckle, and does the coffin drop while Ethan Page was still in the coffin, and he went right, and basically Darby Allin went right into the coffin, and I'm like, oh my god, that was insane. Holy shoot. Yeah, so that was sick. And that's how the show ended. Holy shit, that. The whole thing of Darby Allin's theme song is I Fell, turned to a whole different meaning of him, how he fell into that coffin with Ethan Page still in there. Holy cow. And that will conclude your Fyter Fest Night 1, where it thanks to it being on Dynamite, TNT, for All Elite Wrestling for Fyter Fest Night 1. And there you go. And now I'm gonna get to my highlights for Fyter Fest Night 1. Swerve of the Night will have to be Swerve of the Night. What was Swerve of the Night for me? Let's see. I guess Swerve of the Night for me will have to be Scorpio Sky appearing in the coffin there. So there you go. Shock of the Night will have to be Darby Allin doing the coffin drop to Ethan Page through the coffin, to end the show. Because that was shocking there. I was not expecting that at all when he did that. So, moment of the night. Moment of the night for me will have to, at that, where it pertains to Swerve of the Night, I gotta go with the whole thing with Powerhouse Hobbs hitting Brian Cage with the belt. Because the whole thing with him taking the belt away from Ricky Starks at first, and then also using that same belt to hit Brian Cage with it, and did what they did. That will be Swerve of the Night there. So yeah, forget about Scorpio Skies. Of being that one. But moment of the night, excuse me, will have to be Sting getting that crowd reaction, in AEW. To me, that was a moment there. Promo of the night, obviously, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Yeah, I'm saying that Britt Baker's promo was way up there. And meanwhile, Moxley's promo was here, and Archer's promo was here. So, video promo of the night. Miro, his video promo was pretty good. So, especially he introduced the new edition of the TNT world title, or the new TNT title, not world title. Anyways, segment of the night. I'll tell you one thing, it's not gonna be the Dark Order and the Hangman Page versus the Elite, promo stuff that they did, especially the Young Bucks there. I'm sorry, that was not segment of the night for me. That'll be Cody Rhodes and Malachi Black. That's gonna be promo. That's gonna be the segment of the night for me. Entrance of the night. Let's see. It's gotta be the Coffin. We're saying so. I'm bringing out the Coffin for the Coffin match. So there you go. Because they had guys looking like kind of like druids, but not really. That's basically what it was. So that I'll go for that one. Even though they're not wrestlers, but then again, they probably are. Maybe some of them are wrestlers. And they're just training in the factory or whatever. But I'm still going for that entrance of the night. Performance of the night, Ricky Starks. Move of the night. Move of the night. Let's see. It's gotta be one of Ricky Starks' moves that impressed me. The spear, for example. Even though that was a spear that on the end of the match, but that's not his finisher. The spear is not his finisher. Even though he does win his matches with a spear, but his real finisher is the Rochambeau. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, but that spear was pretty sick, so I'm gonna go for that one. That's move of the night. Finish of the night. Well, it ain't gonna be John Moxley's Paradigm Shift. That was trash. So I'm gonna go with Sammy Guevara's GTH. To Wheeler Yuta. Brutal match of the night. I gotta go with the Coffin match. And also I gotta say this: the problem with the Coffin match, by the way, and there's no problem with the Coffin match. I thought it was good. The problem was it was too short. it was 15 minutes and 22 seconds, but it should have went a lot longer than that, in my opinion. So, to me, the one that I feel like was longer was Christian Cage versus Matt Hardy, but finding out that it wasn't. But the fact they still giving them that much time, and then you couldn't you know you could at least cut about 5 minutes of that at that time, because that match, right, it was the weakest match on the show there. You could cut 5 minutes of that one and get 5 more minutes to Darby Allin and Ethan Page to do a lot more in there. Just saying. But that will be real match of the night. Pertains to Darby Allin and Ethan Page's Coffin match, in a good way though. Alright, show steal of the night. To me, because of Ricky Starr's performance in the match against Brian Cage, that was show steal of the night for me. And match of the night. I guess I'll go Moxley and Carl Anderson. Just to to go wrestling fact, go a fashion wrestling, So there you go. And there you go. And my overall showing for the show for AEW Dynamite, presenting Fyter Fest Night 1, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with I don't remember my overall showing of the show, but I did the live reactions with the panels, with Nick and Kat, and also you could say Remington too, for the brief time he was there. But I'm gonna go with 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. Either way, it was a great show. It was a great show. It was one of AEW's best shows they've done all year, and we'll get to what happened on Fyter Fest night 2. And for my live reaction of that, you already know how I feel about that match. About that show, but we'll get to that when we get to it. It seems to me giving my review of it. But that being said, folks, I'm done. Thank you for watching. Until next time, we're to giving you obviously it's gonna be after this upload of it, after this premiere of it, you'll get it afterwards. But this is night 1 of Fyter Fest on AEW Dynamite for this All Elite Wrestling review. Next time you see me, I'll do another one, which it'll be afterwards. After this one. For night 2 on of Fyter Fest on Dynamite for the All Elite Wrestling review. So I'll see you for that one. So for his Natural Born Driller saying peace on the streets. Take care.